dear students, and welcome once again to this online lecture. Well, today I will be talking about a very important topic, that is resume building, an art of self-presentation and projection. Okay, so resume building is actually an art of self-presentation and projection. We are all individuals and have a self. In the social, academic, and business world, we live and survive as individuals and need communication skills. Whatever role we are playing in life, whether we are teachers or journalists or lawyers, whatever professional role we are playing in our lives or even in personal lives, we cannot, you know, be successful unless we present ourselves well. And resume writing, resume building is an art of self presentation and projection in a different way. So, we say in the business world, as a professional, we need oral as well as written language skills. And resume is a reflection of us as individuals and is also the art of self presentation. What is a resume? Well, a resume is a 1 or 2 page formal document that job hunters submit to hiring managers as a means of itemizing their work experience and educational background and special skills. As you can see, I have highlighted certain things in a different color, red color, that it's a formal document. And who uses it? Job hunters use it to find jobs. And what does it contain? It contains several things, including your work experience, your educational background, and any special skills. Okay, so resume is a very important document, and I guess it is even more important than your degrees, because nobody, no employer looks at your degrees in the beginning. The employer or the recruiting manager first of all have a look at your resume, and after looking at your resume and after going through your resume, the recruiting manager decides whether to call you or shortlist you for an interview or not. So in that sense, resume is even more important than all your degrees. And now, why resume? Once again, the most it as I said, this is the most important written document of your life and career, and it actually outlines your education and skill set to help the potential employer decide whether you should be hired or not, and can or cannot contribute to the company's success. And a resume is in fact a tool of presenting and projecting and marketing yourself. Someone may, disagree with me that why market ourselves, but I think we need to market ourselves because there are many other people selling their services, selling their skills, showcasing their skills. So resume basically showcases your skills, talents, and abilities to the potential recruiters or hiring managers. And if your resume is well written, then the chances are that the interviewer or the recruiter will shortlist you, and you will have the opportunity to meet your recruiter face to face to impress him or to tell him or her about your educational qualifications, about your experiences, about your skills, and about your talents. Now, if we look at resumes, there are different types of resumes, and the most popular resumes are three. The first one is chronological resume. Chronological refers to time, and it's a type of resume in which work experience is listed in reverse chronological order. You start with the recent one, most recent one. For example, if I start making my resume, I will start with most recent one, that is my PhD. Then I will go down to MPhil, then to MA, then BA, and so on. So that is in reverse chronological order. We start with the most recent one, and then another type of resume is functional resume. Instead of putting things in chronological order or in terms of time sequence, it focuses on skills and attributes. And the other type of resume is a mixture of both chronological and functional. And in the following slides, I will be showing you the samples of chronological and functional both, and you can decide which one you want to use for yourself. Now if you look at reverse chronological resume style, then of course, like every other resume, it starts with your name, street address, city zip code, phone number, email address, and then you need to write down an objective in which you describe your career goals or ideal job. I will actually be talking about different parts of resume in great detail after a few slides. So for this moment, just have a look at how does a chronological resume may look like. This is a blank resume in which we have just given the headings, and things will be written down to make this resume. So you can see there is degrees, there is experience, and there are other things, start date and end date, and other things. Towards the end of my lecture, I will be showing you a full-fledged resume, both sample chronological and functional. Now functional resume organize experience by types of function performed under each, give specific examples, and that highlight experiences that directly relate to the job you are seeking, and it ignores experiences that do not relate to the job for which you are applying. You should place things in order of importance rather than chronological order in a functional resume. For example, you are applying for a marketing job somewhere, then you might have done many courses related to uh, cooking or related to uh, other things, but recently you might not include them because they are not directly relevant to the job which you are seeking. You will mention only those experiences which are related directly to the job you are applying. So the advantage of functional resume over chronological resume is it is more focused, and you are able to delete the irrelevant things which are not directly related to the job you're applying. So this is an example of a functional resume style. You can see, and it continues 2 pages. And now let us discuss about the resume parts. Every single resume must have these parts. The first thing is heading, and it includes name, your permanent and local addresses, the email address, and the phone number. So now the question is, what is the logic of including permanent and local addresses? If there are addresses are not mentioned, then the recruiting manager may not be able to decide whether to offer you that particular job or not, because certain jobs requires that the applicant or the successful applicant should be the resident of that area. So by looking at your permanent address, the recruiting manager will be able to make a decision whether to shortlist you for an interview or not. Then an email address is a very convenient way for the recruiter to contact you. Many recruiters, like to send an email rather than making telephone calls, or rather than sending, you know, uh, this contacting you through your permanent or local addresses by means of posts or mails. So the other important thing of every resume is objective statement. An objective should convey specific information about what you are seeking, and it should be 1 to 3 sentences summary of your area of expertise and career interest. It should not be long, because we said a resume is a 1 to 2 pages long. So you should be able to give in 1 to maximum 3 sentences the summary of your area of expertise and career interest. And I'll be showing you some objective statements in the following slides. You may write as your objective statement as complete sentences or as descriptive phrases with minimum punctuation. And your objective statement should relate your existing skills directly to the job you are seeking. Demonstrate, show what you can do for the company rather than what they can do for you. Many people come to me and tell me that we have sent their resumes to the this company, that company. We have sent dozens of resumes, but we have not been shortlisted. What is the reason? And I tell them the problem may be that you are trying to tell to the recruiting managers that they should hire you because you need a job. So companies are not charity organizations. They need people who could work for them, who could take them to the new heights. So instead of telling them that you need a job, you should demonstrate. You should tell them that you are the best candidate they are looking for. That if they hire you, you will be able to take the company to the new heights. You can increase their sales. You can, solve their management problems. So resume is an important decision maker whether you will be hired or not. So objective statement, excuse me, when you are making or when you are writing an objective statement, you should avoid overgeneralized statement. For example, some people write down, I need a job where I could utilize my knowledge and expertise in different areas. Now there are two faults with it. One fault is it is overgeneralized, that in different areas, in which area, whether in engineering, in marketing, in IT, in teaching, whatever. So you have not specified. So you should be specific. And second problem is that it tells the company that you are actually looking for a job where you could utilize your knowledge and expertise. Okay, so this is not a good way of, this is not a good objective statement. So you should avoid statements that focus only on what a company can do for you. For example, if you say a position where I gain expertise in working on biological problems, again you are telling the company that you need a job because you want to gain experience. Instead of saying this, you should tell them what you as an expert can do for the company. So for example, this objective statement written in green color is best. For example, that allows me to apply my background in engineering and high performance computing to biological problems. Now, number one, it is specific. You have mentioned specific fields that you want to work in engineering and you and high performance computing to biological problems. You have mentioned your skills that you have got high performance computing, and then you have told to the company that what you can do for them. So objective statement, the sample objective statements are given here. For example, a position in financial services, very specific, using well developed research, analytical and quantitative skills. A research position in healthcare, combining interest in policy and medicine. A position as a process engineer in the chemical industry. So these are examples of good objective statements. You can see these are 1 to 2 lines long and with minimal punctuation. And the second important component of a resume is education. You should list institutions attended and locations, including study abroad experiences, degrees, and dates when you received them, your majors and concentration, an honor thesis title if applicable. And another thing which people often ask me, whether they should include their GPA in their resume or not. And I always tell them that you should include your GPA if it is at least 3. You may want to add your major GPA if it is considerably higher. If it is lower than 3, do not include your GPA in your resume. Why? Because that is a weakness. And a resume, you project, you highlight your talents, your qualities, and you hide your weaknesses. A good resume highlights the good qualities and it hides the weaknesses. Okay, so if your GPA is lower than 3, then do not include it. Do not tell them that you have not been a very brilliant student. Experience. This includes diverse experiences, both paid and unpaid. People often ask me that they are fresh graduates and they do not have any experience. And I often tell them experience does not only mean paid experiences, it also means unpaid part time experience. It also means full time experience, of course. It also means summer jobs. You can include summer jobs as an experience, cooperative experience, any internships, any volunteer experience, even extracurricular activities can count towards your experience. For example, if you have been a football coach or if you have been a captain of the cricket team, then you can show that you have got a team and you led that team and that team under your captainship won many matches. So if you are applying for any leadership role, you can include that kind of experience to show that you have got leadership qualities. And then employment experience. When you are including your employment information about employment experience, you need to include company name, its location, what was the job title, whether you were a junior manager or whether you were an assistant, whatever you were. So job title should be included. And then dates. What dates? From which date to which date did you do that? And then what duties did you perform during your employment experience? Did you supervise? Did you make telephone calls? Did you coordinate? Did whatever duty you do, you should, write them down in your resume. Make this section easy to read by using spacing and bullets. And you should also use action phrases to highlight the duties you have performed. And then you also need to include skills. You need to include any computer or language skills and your knowledge of foreign languages, laboratory and research skills, analytical skills, management skills, which are not mentioned elsewhere. So you can also include your honors and awards. For example, you have been member of any honor societies or you have got any academic award that can be listed in a separate section if you have more than one or two entries. If not, for example, if you've got a single entry, then incorporate them in the education section. Only include scholarships that are based on merit. And then another thing is about references. In general, do not include the names and addresses of your references on your resume. It is enough to state that references will be provided upon request. And when you are choosing references for your resume, you must choose professional references rather than character references. And your employers and professors, college professors and university professors who know you and your work, they are the best references. And now a typical reference sheet will look like this. It should include the names, addresses and phone number of your references. And the other thing is you must always ask permission before you include any information on your reference sheet. And you should also consider giving your references a copy of your resume so they will be prepared to talk to employers. So here is an example resume, that is the name of the professor Dr. Athar Munir, and then the address of the professor, Department of English, room 226, Government Emerson College, Boston Road, Multan, Pakistan. And then phone number with country code. If you are applying abroad, then it should include a country code 0092 and then mobile number 300-689-4405. And then you need to tell who is Dr. Athar Munir, what is your relationship with him, how you have known him and how he has known you. You can say Dr. Athar Munir is my current academic advisor in the creative writing and information technology program. Okay, so you can also mention relevant courses in your resume. You can mention courses that are pertinent to your objective and employer's needs, particularly if your major does not directly relate to your employment goal. For example, if you are an English major seeking work as a computer programmer, relevant courses will be computer related. And before I close down, before I end today's lecture, I would like to remind you that recruiters and business managers are very busy people. They do not have hours and hours to go through the resumes of people, of resumes of the candidates. They have only seconds. So in those few seconds, you can either be successful in attracting the attention of the recruiting manager to your resume and they may shortlist you or they may reject your application. So resume should be built with great care. Okay, so this is all from my side for today. We'll continue talking about resume writing in our next lectures. Okay, so thank you very much.